Right, 1 July 2024, and today is the first day of the month, and I'm very excited to be giving you the first live stream of the month. And this is very, very exciting, and I'm so happy that we're able to do this every single day without fail since December. And today I want to start with some trending stories. We've got some trending stories today, and let's start with what's happening with Shan Mangaba. Shan Mangaba is the twin son of Mnangagwa, and it appears like these days all we talk about is Mnangagwa. And you can see Shan Mangaba over there and Collins. These are the Mnangagwa twins. They move around with their mother, Auxilia. And what has happened is that Shan Mangaba has been implicated in smuggling. So that is smuggling of goods through the border. And he has also been implicated in getting money from people and not paying back. So a lot of money that Shan Mangaba has been given has not been paid back. And the Zimbabwe government, through the spokesperson of Mnangagwa, has responded to these claims. So Mnangagwa loves his sons a lot, these young sons, and he often shows them off on their birthday, and they hang around with him. The problem with Mnangagwa's sons is most of them are not employed. So they're not gainfully employed, and they all rely on the Zimbabwe government for their livelihood. And what has happened is that recently in the State House, there has been incidents where people have been caught with smuggled goods. And I'm talking here, for example, people like LF Gulandebele was caught in State House with drugs, was arrested. Sandra Ndebele, these people are related, and they're all related to Gulandebele. Sandra Ndebele was caught this week with a vehicle which was smuggled into Zimbabwe. And there's been massive smuggling in Mnangagwa's office, where state security agents have been caught with cars from South Africa that have been smuggled, and where number plates have been fitted on those cars, some of the number plates of people that don't exist. And this has been traced back to Mnangagwa's office. However, in the case of Shan Mangaba, what has happened is that certain people would arrive at the border with a lot of goods, and then they'll phone and say, please release these goods. They belong to Shan Mangaba. The goods will be let in. And obviously, some of this has been reported to ZAC, and Mnangagwa's office has been forced to issue a statement to preempt the possible investigation that is going to take place for Shan Mangaba. So if you look at the Sunday Mail newspaper of yesterday, they've led with that story that it's actually people who are lying, who are saying that it's Shan Mangaba, but it's not Shan Mangaba. And you know that that's a lie. There's no one who's crazy enough in Zimbabwe to go to the border and say, I've got goods here for Shan Mangaba, when it's not Shan Mangaba, because they know that you can easily phone Shan Mangaba anytime. I can phone Shan Mangaba now. So there is no way that these people will be lying to say, I'm carrying goods for Shan Mangaba. For what purpose? So this is something that is a revelation once again of the corruption that is taking place in Zimbabwe. And this has become worse and worse under Mnangagwa. So Shan Mangaba implicated in the import of goods without paying duty, sometimes without having to be inspected. What is in those particular goods that are moving through the border, sometimes they don't have to be inspected because someone just arrives and say, these goods belong to Shan Mangaba. Then in terms of money, so when they arrive at the border, and if that trick doesn't work, money has been asked for from diplomats, from prominent people, from business people, from people in parastatals, to say, please provide us with money so that we can pay for duty. The money has been paid into Shan Mangaga's bank account in South Africa. And when the money is requested back, Shan Mangagwa says he does not know about the money. He is not the one who asked for the money, but the money went into his bank account. So when questioned, Shan Mangagwa says he does not know who has opened the bank account in his name, and he's going to ask the South African authorities to find out who has opened bank accounts in his name. This is crazy. it's not possible in South Africa for someone to go and open a bank account in the name of Shan Mangaba without knowing his address, without knowing his ID. This is crazy. And I do not believe that the newspaper or the Sunday Mail newspaper believes that anyone can buy that story, that anyone could be stupid enough to go to South Africa and open a bank account in the name of Shan Mangaba. So this is crazy, but it's happening. Shan Mangaba implicated once again the Mnangagwa family at the forefront of corruption, and a very, very corrupt family, the Mnangagwa family. So this is a story that is developing. Let's see what is going to come out. Very, very soon, something is going to come out. We're going to have details because these guys have preempted. So they've preempted the Charambas. They've said this so that whenever what comes out, we're going to think that it's a lie. But let's wait. Within the next few weeks, we are going to be hearing a story about Shan Mangaba and what has happened. And it's going to be very, very interesting. And also, we're going to find out who he owes money. I've said to you that the Mnangagwa family is struggling for money. And we're going to find out who are the people that are being owed money. And I'm going to deal with you, Ms. Kabasa, very, very soon. We're going to deal with you, Ms. Kabasa, and your comments. But for now, I want us to continue. I want us to go forward. We've got a lot of stories to cover today. And the most important story after this story of Shan Mangaba is what has happened in Harare. So I'm going to now show you an advert. And this is coming from the Zimbabwe Health Authority. Let me get that authority correct. So let's get that authority correct so that I don't get this wrong. So this is the Zimbabwe Professional Authority. Okay, Health Professions Authority of Zimbabwe has issued a statement. They are banning the use of drips for aesthetics in Harare. As you know, there is a lot of procedures taking place in Harare, and mostly young women are going to get these drips. And the press statement says, the Health Professions Authority of Zimbabwe has noted with concern that beauty and wellness facilities are offering beauty enhancements, services, and skin treatments using procedures that are beyond their capacity, their scope of operations, such as intravenous drips and infusions. Intravenous drips and injectables are being administered by non-medical professions, which poses a serious threat in the health sector. The HPA Act prohibits non-medical personnel from performing any act specifically pertaining to a registered profession. So you can go and look at this statement. I'm going to post it on Gambakwe. What these guys have done is they've banned the use of all these drips. And let me give you some of the procedures. You're going to laugh. And it's not funny. It's skin takes, then fat reduction, non-surgical facelift, skin renewal, cellulite removal, stretch marks, acne and pimples. And I won't read the next one. I'll jump. Then the scar removal. The next one is to do with some tightening. I don't know why someone would tighten anything. So these are the type of procedures, and they require sometimes people to get drips and also to get vitamins and so forth. This is very, very dangerous to your liver. Do not do it. Only do it with a doctor. And unfortunately, for those people who have been making a lot of money, these places have been closed. So be careful of what you do in Zimbabwe in terms of drips and all those kind of stuffs. So that's very, very important. And we're going to highlight this. Then I want to take you to the parliament, the junior parliament of Zimbabwe. A young man has been appointed here as the president of the junior parliament of Zimbabwe. And his name is Pius Ncube from Zilegazi High School. Very, very good young man. Good job that is done. And I'm going to show you his video speaking right now. And he said the time is now.
I feel excited and overwhelmed at the same time after being elected as the 32nd president of the junior parliament of Zimbabwe. The vision is to ensure that our theme for the year, education for all children in Africa, the time is now, is fulfilled and fully met.
Right, so that is Pius Ncube there from Mzilikazi High School. Mzilikazi High School doing very, very well. And he is the president of the Junior Parliament of Zimbabwe. There was also young guys who were doing the drills there. And I'm happy to see that they were not holding real guns, they were holding paper guns. But good job to the young guys and good job to Pius Ncube there. The time is now. I hope that the young people of Zimbabwe understand where we're going. Our adults, Mnangagwa and the people before them, they're coming to the end of their term and the end of their life in politics. We need the young guys to step up. And if you're a young person and you don't step up, it's your own fault, because the opportunities that are coming in front of us are massive. Our country is going to do very, very well. Zimbabwe is going to emerge from this period, this dark period, where it has been plunged by Mnangagwa and his corrupt activities. So this is going to happen very, very soon. Everyone knows, as soon as Mnangagwa is gone, Zimbabwe is going to do very, very well. Mnangagwa has lost a massive opportunity to improve our country, and he's been the serious problem in our country. And I want to take you now to someone who is actually someone who has done a great job for Zimbabwe, and that is Joshua Nkomo. Joshua Nkomo died in 1999. So let us remove that banner. Joshua Nkomo died in 1999 on 1 July. So Zimbabwe is commemorating the death of Joshua Nkomo, who was the vice president of Zimbabwe. He signed the Unity Accord with Robert Mugabe after a protracted and bloody civil war between the Ndebele people and the Shona people. So it was the tribal war, and Joshua Nkomo ended the war and agreed to join ZAPU, the party, with ZANU-PF to form the current ZANU that you see here. And Joshua Nkomo was a very peaceful man. If this man had become the president of Zimbabwe in 1980, Zimbabwe was going to be extremely successful. But the arrival of Mugabe and his ruthless politics and dictatorship plunged our country into what we have now. And Mnangagwa, whom you know now as president of Zimbabwe, was the bodyguard of Mugabe. So we have a continuation of the same people who have been leading our country, and the people who should have been in charge have passed on, and it's very sad that Nkomo here did not become our president. I want to show you a clip of the vision of Joshua Nkomo so that you can see what kind of man he was.
The priority is now nation building, social and economic progress. We cannot move forward if we are divided. We have to work as a nation together. Zimbabwe has people of various colors, but they are one. Once we all understand that, once we give our best to our country, Zimbabwe is a wonderful country.
Right, Zimbabwe is a wonderful country if we all we give our best to our country. Unfortunately, we now have pretenders and cabals running our country, and people like Joshua Nkomo, they are at a level that you could never ever have. You cannot compare Joshua Nkomo with anyone in Zimbabwe. When I was a student at NAST, Joshua Nkomo used to come to his doctor. His doctor was right next to the NAST office. So NAST didn't have a campus at that time. We're down at Lobengula Street. So Joshua Nkomo used to have his doctor right next to us. The man used to drive in with his driver, no bodyguards. I am literally telling you that Nkomo was traveling with his driver. He had no bodyguard. No one wanted to harm Joshua Nkomo. That man was loved all over Matriland, all over Harare. And this is what I'm talking about. Someone who, when he died, the whole country mourned. So Zimbabwe is commemorating Joshua Nkomo. And if you look at the Zimbabwe National Army, they've also issued a statement here on Joshua Nkomo. So that is the Minister of Defense. They've issued a statement on Joshua Nkomo. So it's been since 1999, I think we're 25 years, if I'm not mistaken, since the death of Joshua Nkomo. And our country is still at a standstill. The country has moved back so badly under Mnangagwa. and it's terrible. It's a total mess that our country is in, and I hope that we solve this problem. Zimbabwe appears to be a cursed country. Nothing's moving. The currency is crashed multiple times. Under Mnangagwa, the currency is crashed 2 times to 0. We've lost billions, corruption, smuggling, like the one that we're talking about here. And now tenders that don't make sense, election rigging, and our country is a laughingstock. Millions and millions of Zimbabweans outside the country who are not able to come back. Most of them living from hand to mouth in foreign countries. This is crazy. I've never seen a country which is like Zimbabwe. And then let's go to Botswana quickly. So in Botswana, this is Se Seretse Khama Day today. So Botswana is celebrating Se Seretse Khama Day, and he was born on 1 July 2021. Sorry, 1921, not 2021. And he is well loved in Botswana. He was president from 1966 to 1980. Last week, I showed you how Gaborone looks. The country has been transformed, and the country is full of peace, it's full of progress. The country is respected all over the world until Masisi. It was respected all over the world. And it's unfortunate that we do not have this caliber of leader. The African leaders of this time were amazing. They were beyond reproach. And the love that people have still for people like Se Seretse Khama, you'll be amazed. You saw what when I showed you the airport, they named the airport out of him, in his name. They also put a statue of him in the city. I wish I had more time in Botswana to show you more about Se Seretse Khama. But it's amazing what he's done with Botswana before he passed on. And then I want to quickly look at other stories here. Let me see what else is there. ZEC has been silent on Wicknowich. They're not going to do anything. We have to force ZAC to do something about Wicknowich. Wicknowich stole a lot of money. They stole the elections, and nothing has happened to Wicknowich. This man has to be found and apprehended. Wicknowich is very dangerous to our country. He's very dangerous because he has taken the election and he has made a mockery of our election. Part of the rigging was because of Wicknowich, who printed the ballot papers without involving the opposition as required by law. He inflated the products or the goods that he sold to the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. He is not a supplier of election goods, and he got the tender without following any procedures. So people like Wicknowich, they benefited from the tenders through their close relationship to Mnangagwa. And this is a crime that needs to be investigated, and everyone must look down upon what has happened here. So ZAC has done nothing. The chairperson of the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, Chigumba, was involved. She got money for school fees for a child who is in the United States or overseas. I don't know if he's in Australia or the United States, but they got school fees for that. And after the printing of the ballot paper, she got 150,000 just for holidays from Wicknowich. There's an audio, there's a financial trail of all these transactions, and nothing has happened. The Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission has not been able to investigate this case. Any email that you write to the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission or the Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission, it first of all goes to Mnangagwa's office. The way they've set it up is such that if you write an email to ZAC or to the Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission, they've sent it through the servers of Mnangagwa, and he's going to see it. Don't do it. Don't write an email to ZAC. Don't write an email to the Zimbabwe Human Rights Commission. These things are rigged. Don't write an email to Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. All the commissions are being controlled through the office of Mnangagwa, and they're making sure that they know all your communication. And you'll be surprised to find someone at your door if you do such a thing. So this is a rigged game. It's terrible what is happening in Zimbabwe, and change needs to come, and change can only come from young people. Do not accept what is happening in Zimbabwe right now. This is the worst thing that can ever happen to a country, and there's no one who is taking care of this business, no one who is checking all these things. people who are supposed to be in charge are failing to do so, which is terrible. Then let's look at a business story, one business story, and then we'll probably just close this. Net1 is having a lot of system challenges. Employees are stealing from Net1 with outsiders. And today, there is a story of 2 employees. That is Linda Temeri, 30 years old, who is probably in marketing, and billing engineer Dim Yaradz, 30. Both of them are 30. They are currently in jail after working with the hacker. And the hacker is called Blessing Tizraim Darikwa. He hacked into the system together with the 2 employees, and they probably stole money from the pool account. And this happened between January 2023 and June 2023. So it was only found out now that they were stealing money from the account, and the hacker, Blessing Tizraim Darikwa, is out, is running away from the police. And this is because obviously they discovered this way after it happened. So Net1 is facing a lot of challenges, a lot of theft, and this is happening right under the nose of the security people over there at Net1. They need to get a proper security person to do their work. And I think this is what I have for today. I'm going to bring it to an end. I don't want to keep going. Let's see if the Herald newspaper is published. So let's look at our press and see if the Herald newspaper is published, and also H Metro. Let's see if they published anything. So I'm going to quickly look at this. And once I'm doing that, the South African cabinet has been announced. So there's not been many changes, except that the DA has received a lot of seats. So I'm going to ask someone to run down through what has happened in the South African government. President Cyril Ramaphosa stays in office. Vice President Paul Mashatile remains in office. And there's actually not been much changes, except here and there. They've removed people like Becky Kele, and they've replaced them with someone else. Aaron Motsoaledi has moved from Minister of Home Affairs, and the DA has taken Home Affairs. And this is very important for Zimbabweans. It's very important because what the DA is going to do is illegal immigration. That is the end of illegal immigration. If you don't have paperwork and you're living in South Africa, forget about living in this country without paperwork. The DA is going to be very efficient in dealing with illegal immigrants. So regularize your stay in South Africa. Do not believe you can stay here without paperwork. That was under the ANC, where corruption was rampant. So at your borders, you're going to see a big change. That thing of paying money to pass through the borders, forget about it. It won't work. Now, let me look at the comments. Let's look at the comments. And I want to start here with Max Miss Kabasa, Gambakwe ZANU-PF project. Stop trying this embezzlement of money from people with your Zambia protest idea. So let me take this time to explain to young people in Zimbabwe what it means to protect your future. Anamis Kabasa, these ones, you see the ones that are called Anamis Kabasa, these are fake names, they're not real. If you see someone who's telling you not to protest, that person is not a young person. That person is part of the cabal. And let me unpack it. The young people of Kenya, they demonstrated last week and they got a change. In Zimbabwe, young people just sit there and they hope that another country or another person or another someone is going to come, or Chamisa or Gambakwe is going to come and help them. You have to do it yourself as a young person, and do not delegate your responsibilities to someone else. Do not make it my job. Don't say, oh, who is Gambakwe? What is he like? What is Gambakwe? I am doing what I have to do. Every morning I'm here. Every evening I'm here. That's my portion. The impact that we're having in this country is amazing. It's massive. As a young person, your job is to make sure that you don't make it my responsibility to free you and to get you a job and to get your brother a job and to get your sister a job and to make your country a respectable country, to bring back hundreds of thousands of Zimbabweans that are destitute outside the country. This is what we're trying to do. There is no amount of money that you're going to give me that is going to equal the success that our country is going to have. And you see that in the future, Gambakwe is going to be a well-known person for what we're doing here. We are standing up and we're providing you with leadership in a time when there's a leadership vacuum. Right now in Zimbabwe, there is a leadership vacuum, and we're providing you with that leadership vacuum. People are used to the same way, and we're introducing you to a new way of doing things, a new way of building our country. Sakakana, she's the founding fathers of Zimbabwe. Ndovana Gambakwe. That is the people that you're talking about. Do the right thing. If you are in a university, if you are in a college, if you are a young person in school, tell other people that we're going to have a protest on the 13th of July in Zambia. And that protest is to make sure that Mnangagwa is put on the agenda, that the SIOM report is respected, and that Mnangagwa is not made chairperson of SADC. That dialogue is open in Zimbabwe. We want dialogue in our country, and we want our country to do well. Under Mnangagwa, our country has become a laughingstock, the worst country in the whole world, because of Mnangagwa and his policies, his poor policies. So Mnangagwa's policies are a failure. There is no one in this whole country who has failed the way Mnangagwa has failed. And while I'm talking about that, I want to show you something. The Zimbabwe government is once again threatened protesters. I don't know how many threats we're going to get as Zimbabweans. Every single day, there's a protester. So the man that I'm displaying here is called Rafa Faranis, right? There. That man is a permanent secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs. He's right now issued another threat that thousands and thousands of soldiers are going to be deployed during the SADC summit. And he has said the police will never issue the clearance for protesters to protest. So, guys, let's go to Zambia and do this. Make sure that SADC puts Zimbabwe on the agenda. As long as Zimbabwe is not on the agenda of SADC, you cannot do anything. And do not worry about Gambakwe. Do not worry about Gambakwe, whether Gambakwe is a chief intelligence officer or if Gambakwe works for whichever division. Do not worry about it. Worry about your future and do not be distracted. Gambakwe is not the issue at all. And let's make it emphatic. Mnangagwa, this is their last term. Mnangagwa is going, whether he likes it or not. It's his last term. Do not allow a person that is living to determine your future with this corruption and the fake investigations that we're seeing here. The fake ZIG, the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. Everything is fake under Mnangagwa, and that is not allowed. We should not allow it. And let's make sure that it's sorted out. And you guys who are capable, assist us to do this. Help us to get this done. And do not be distracted about Gambakwe or about whoever else. Let's get this done. For the first time, young people stand up, young people of Zimbabwe, and make sure your country does well. There's no one who doesn't want a country to do well. And wants thousands and thousands of Zimbabweans to come back home. Then I want to look at other comments here. Gona said, DA said legalize all foreigners with ZAP because they have contributed to the economy. It's good to ZEP holders. Yes, ZEP holders, they're just 200,000. In South Africa here, we've got over 4 million illegal Zimbabweans who live here, who don't have a single paper. What they've been doing is they've been able to cross the border up and down without paperwork because the ANC government is so corrupt and the borders were so corrupt. What you're going to see now is if you don't have paperwork in South Africa, your days of staying here are numbered. The people that the DA is going to put at the border are not the same as the people that are right there right now with the ANC. The ANC government, it was not very good at the borders. And similarly, with the Ministry of Health here, they were not very good. Their controls were weak. People easily took bribes. That's not going to happen. So do not think you're going to stay here. Fix your country of Zimbabwe and don't try to fix other countries. It's not your country. Do not know so much about what's happening in South Africa and know about what's happening in your country and make it work over there. And then I want to look for another comment here. And I want to look for a story that says, Gambakwe, you have not answered my questions about protests in Zambia. How is Zambia going to allow the protests concerning it requires a lot of security, which will affect Zambia economy? Don't worry about the Zambians. I'm going to deal with the Zambians. Believe me, Chete, Zambia is a peaceful country, and Zambia is capable of controlling 10,000 people. All I'm saying is come to Zambia, come in a bus, come in a plane, come in a bicycle, come in a car. 13 July being Zambia, make sure that we stand in front of that venue until Zimbabwe is put on the agenda of SADC during the ministerial committee of the organ. That has to happen. Do not think you're going to protest in Zimbabwe. You'll be killed by Mnangagwa. He's going to shoot to kill. And Mnangagwa is going to do everything to stay in office. So do not do it. Come to Zambia. Follow the things that I'm telling you here, and you do very, very well. Once Zimbabwe is on the agenda, our country is going to do very, very well. And then, yes, South African banks running bad metrics. Yes, that is regarding Shan Mangaba. Shan Mangaba has been implicated in asking people for money. People deposit money into his bank account, and then he turns around and say he's not the one. So this is what has happened here. So over 1 million rands have been taken in this way. And Shan Mangaba says he doesn't know who is taking money from those people. The money has been put in his bank account, but he's not the one who opened those bank accounts. So he's obviously lying. Shan Mangaba owns those bank accounts. And if it was a proper country, it was going to be investigated. And people were going to find out what's happening with the money that is taken. We're talking here about almost 1 million. Money is like 300,000, 400,000. He said it himself. That is being taken from people. And then this money ends up in his bank account in South Africa. And he says that bank account does not belong to him, which is fake. That's not true. Shan Mangaba must be honest and explain what is happening and pay back people their money. Pay back the money. Pay back the money, Shan Mangaba. Then I want to quickly wrap this up. I think we've covered everything, and I've also wrapped up on the story. So tonight I'll be back. We'll be back talking about the protest. We're not going to stop. And I'm going to fly out tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to fly out. We're not going to have the normal broadcast. We're going to have the evening broadcast. But I'll obviously talk to you tomorrow. But I'm flying out. We're arranging a lot of things. Our country is going to do very, very well. And do not believe that we are going to be having the current system now. Our politics is going to change. We're going to have a politics that happens in public, because Isuzu will run the media. And our job is make sure that we bring about transformation. And we don't want politics that happens in the shadows, because when politics happens in the shadows, you get gatekeepers, people that block everything. You get, this is where you get CIO, who just pop from nowhere. That is because of politics happening in the shadows. We want to create a new system, and our country is going to do so well. Our country is going to be a pride of Africa. If you see me and there's change, you are going to understand what is happening. Our country is going to have lights. Our country is going to have money. You're going to be able to withdraw money in the ATM. You're going to be able to get a job. You're going to be able to work, and your money is going to be able to stay in the bank and grow. At the moment, Zimbabwe is a mess. A small cabal of people is destroying our country, and that must come to an end. That is what we're trying to do. I want you to paint this picture to your families. Paint this picture to your young people, that it's possible for you to have a house, to have a car, for you to have a future in your own country. You don't have to run and look for visas and find out which country is giving you a visa now, which country is going no permit. All those things, you won't need them if you fix your own country. That's what we want to do. And you are going to love it, because we're fearless. And I want you young people to be fearless. The young people of Zimbabwe are capable of doing this. And we are going to be together in this thing. You're going to see me. I'm not sending you to do something that I'm not going to be part of. I'm going to be over there. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Mkoma Hagai saying I've been following you since 2019. You know, Mkoma Hagai, there's one guy. I'll never forget this guy. He followed me the moment I opened my page, the Zimbabwe Postgraduate Network. And that day I drove to Harare through Beitbridge. When I arrived in my hotel room in Harare, I had 1,000 followers after one day. And that's why I always tell you guys that this is spiritual. The Gambakwe media is a spiritual channel. And what we're doing here is going to bring about one of the biggest changes in our country. This time that we've arrived, we are not playing with this time. Do not waste time. We need our country to do well. Zimbabwe is capable of doing very, very well. And we're going to remove this leadership vacuum that is there. And we're going to make sure that people are guided towards the right direction. We don't want the same group of people destroying our country. And young people, do not take it. Do not take people who tell you that you deserve to be at this low level. You deserve to be at the bottom of everything. And you deserve to be in such poverty and squalor that we've seen in Zimbabwe. Our country can do well, our country can rise. And we'll do it, we'll make sure that it happens. Even if it means we die doing it, we'll make sure that we'll do it, and we'll do it for our future generations. And then Munoenda Ncube Zambia kwacho. You see me, I'm gonna fly. I've shown him a ticket. In I'm flying to the airport. Because obviously I'm coming from far off here. My flight from here to Zambia, it's 6 hours, I think. That's how bad it is. You saw how many hours I flew to Botswana. It took me 24 hours to get to Botswana. That's how crazy it is. That is the kind of sacrifice that I put into this thing. I sacrifice so much for this, and it's very personal to me. And I would like us to make sure that SADC understands that Zimbabweans are tired. They don't want Mnangagwa as a chairperson. They want the SIM report to be respected, and they want dialogue in the country, leading to a transitional system, Mnangagwa stepping down, and fresh elections. Very, very clear. And I'm going to be creating a poster for you guys so that you can get this and start distributing it so that everyone can understand what we're doing with our country. A new Zimbabwe is going to come very, very soon. And thank you very much to everyone who's been watching. I've actually overdone my time now. I need to run. I've got some big assignments today, big meetings, and I'll see you guys tonight. Thank you very much, and a good day to you all.